well, a little tour through somebody's spare parts and weird guitars collection. So I was just down in town earlier today and plugging in things at the moment. Yeah, and I don't know if I've shown you. Yeah, I think I've shown you the blue guitar. Anyway, some weird guitars I'd bought in Tavistock market. So, and the lady who was selling them had inherited them from an old chap she'd befriended, and so she was selling stuff. And she mentioned that she had a load of parts and bits and bobs, and she'd prefer to sell it all in one go. So I said, well, fine, bring it on, and I'll have a look. I'm busy tidying up as we speak. And so I went down there today, and she, true enough, well, she actually phoned me or texted me and said, right, you know, you're coming in because I've got all the stuff. So I went in, and the result is I've got a pile of bits in bags and boxes, which I haven't even gone through yet, which I'm going to take you on a little trip through. I've got another bit of stuff there, and I've got a set of guitars. So here we are, look. First one is a Squire Affinity Strat, in pretty good condition actually. A couple of little dings on the body, nothing major, with some Super 500 pickups. And I can't even remember what on earth those will have come off, but they can be replaced anyway. I've got plenty of sets. So this is a good condition guitar, and knowing this chap, his name was Graham, he set them up pretty well. I've got, you know, the ones I've got from him are weird but playable. So that was the first one. So that was pretty much worth the price I paid for all the parts, or everything. And then there's this other thing, which is a pretty fat-bodied Strat with a custom-made pickup that kind of looks a bit. Hang on, if I can just get this one to stay still. This one, he's done an amazing thing. Look, he's kind of made a homemade Burns guitar out of it. So he's cut the pickup, he's added loads of switches for some unbeknownst reason. He's added an ancient bridge system from something that I recognise, but it looks like it's either from a Westone, or it looks like the same arrangement as the old Japanese Fender. But anyway, it's a custom-made pickguard. He's painted the edges white like a colonial chap, and on top of it is this Ninja guitar neck, which I can't even remember what brand of guitar or make that's from, but it's a really nice skunk striped neck on top of this, sitting on top of this very, very thick, full width Strat body. So that's going to be really interesting to take apart, or first of all to play. And you can see that even the pickup here is right up close to the neck, so unusual in every way. Those are the two sort of most playable looking ones, but I bet you I'll be proved wrong, because here we go into the land of what Churchill would have called the funnies when it came to the tanks and mechanical stuff of World War II. And this is one of those 3/4 Encore bodies that, and it's got a hardtail bridge. It's got a homemade pickguard with a strange sort of rails pickup, which is itself cut in two, so I don't know what he's done. And then a humbucker at the neck, and what sort of looks like maybe an Ibanez, or maybe not Ibanez, but some sort of heavy rock style, well, okay, Encore neck. And I think I'm going to say is it the original shape? Probably not, who knows. Anyway, he's cut it down, probably made three aside, but he's blocked something off here with another piece of pickguard painted white. So it's just such a little attention to detail. But I bet you that's going to play quite well. Who knows what the electrics are going to do. There we are now into the land of utter monstrosities. This thing once was a vintage, and it will have been a vintage SG. So everything down the neck looks familiar. Not pre-Wilkinson, an early Wilkinson, sorry, a John Hornby Skews actually product. But then we get down to here and he's cut the horns off. It's a flat body, which we expect of an SG, so he's chopped off the horns and made this stunted little thing. And of course he's totally pulled out the second humbucker thing, so what we've got is a single humbucker guitar with a little rotary knob and his own custom made cover. And then on the back we've got this complete plastic cover, and there's some cracking here, so something's broken off in the past, but my lord, that's going to be a fun one. So that was a bonus. And then on top of that we've got this strange ultra light Telecaster style body with God knows where that came from. It's light as a feather, but he's put on a truncated, cut down 12-string neck from some ancient 12-string on it. So I don't even know whether this was, well, it's probably en route to becoming a sort of 12-string from hell. And this pickguard is just sellotaped on, but it's got, you know, routing for, well, God knows how much stuff you can put in there. So all unusual. And then on top of all of that, there's some necks. That's a pretty horrible one. Don't know what it was, but there's bits missing. This is an old remains of an old Vantage, which I think he's also cut down. But again, you know, possibly usable. Best of all in the free necks department is this Squire Jagmaster standard series neck, and it's in really good nick, and it's got a nice thingy, whatever you call that, finish, you know. Yeah, I can't, words have escaped me. Anyway, it's a really good quality neck, so that's going to come in handy. And we've got, as an extra bonus, if we hadn't already got enough for our 50 quid's worth, we've got a Hohner Arbor series Les Paul style neck, a bit mangled down here, but fixable, and that could possibly be a contender for completing the Hondo 2, which never got finished because the neck was unworkable. So just in parts you can see we've got a pretty amazing deal. Now, one of the nice things about this is that one of these two guitars, I'm going to, possibly this one, I'm going to offer, unless I really like playing it, but I'm going to, out of this stuff, I'm going to make a guitar offer it to my neighbour for her son, who's currently playing acoustic but would really like to play electric. In fact, it could be either of these two, but there you go, that's nice. So the fun bit that I'm going to do now, which I'm going to just tidy, no, I'm going to move some things out of the way. I'm going to move the stuff that's already belongs in my stable of junk. Oh yeah, Warman's arrived this morning. These are little shiny pole-less Warmans. A little bit disappointed from Warman's. I'm sure it's no big deal because it will sit underneath. Will sit underneath the level of the thing, but this one's been cut, or it's split, and it's got a really sharp little edge to it. But it will be hidden, so it's not going to be the end of the world. My feeling about, I originally bought these to go on the satellite. Sorry about the camera work, it's rubbish. Anyway, I bought those to go on the satellite horror guitar, and to be honest, I'm not really sure that I'm going to put any more time or effort into that one, so I may find another home for those things. And of course, with all these bodies turning up, who knows. So I'm going to put this on a stand for a minute. We're currently just running on batteries, so it's going to need to power it up in a sec, so just bear with me. I thought you might like to come with me in the most OCD of all activities, which is exploring somebody else's pile of stuff. So we've got a little, it's a bit morbid in some ways. The Graham, who had all this stuff, died of throat cancer, and judging by the smell of the stuff, he was a smoker. But obviously I'll clean all this stuff off before it ever becomes part of anything. But you know, there's a load of stuff for acoustic classical guitars here that really isn't much use to me at all. I've got an acoustic, a classical, which might benefit from a set of those compared to what I did put on it, but to be honest they all feel about much of a muchness. Anyway, here's one of his little homemade pickup cover plates, and he's painted it, you can see. So that's pretty useful. No spring, missing some springs, but again a complete hardtail. No, sorry, top part of a tremolo block, but could be a hardtail piece, or could add a block to it. I'll just put these off to one side because I don't really think I'll keep many of those. But it's quite cool to have. Delve into the next pile of stuff. Yeah, so Graham currently died of throat cancer, and he, the lady who basically befriended him while he was ill, and look at this. He's a fiend. That's come from that poor SG, murdered SG. But hey, you know, not at all useless. Yeah, she befriended him, and when, you know, pretty soon found out that he was ill, and so she helped him as much as she could in his last days, and he kind of went downhill. He had to be fed through the, wow, little bits of magnets. Had to be fed through, eventually ended up being fed through a tube, and then I think the cancer got worse, and he basically couldn't eat, and died at home, and kind of starved to death, really, I suppose, is the crudest way of putting it. And these crazy little inventions that he made. Look, single pickup. I mean, why not? There it is. You can make something out of that. Anyway, so he remembered her by giving her some of his stuff in his will, I believe, before he died, and she talked about going into his place, and wow, going into his place and seeing all his guitars on the wall. And he apparently said that when he was young he could never afford the brand name guitars, so this was the best he could do. So he bought himself the Chinese copies like the Squire and so on, and just had fun doing stuff. That is a weird looking thing. I'd love to know if that plays. Wow. And yeah, then hung them up on his wall and was very proud of them. What have we got? Weird old things. Anyway, look, just a whole pile of old pickups. More trouble than most of them are worth in my book. But like he's sticking two single coils together, and they're making a humbucker. Look. A bunch of little switches, which could come in handy one day. But yeah, little things that, you know, these would play straight off. You can see that's part of the set of 3, I think, by the looks of it. Anyway, I'm going to go through these sort of properly, but that is a cool looking thing. I might have to try that one out. So that's the plastic bits and pickup bits, and another part of that set. Very grindy things. And here's the bit that actually weighs quite a bit. So this is kind of this is the bit I want to lift you up on a bit of a thing here, because you can't really see that very well. So let's get some altitude. You can look down. Put you on top of the Roland amp. Hey, right, so looking down on this pile of stuff, what have we got? Holy moly. Wow. This is a mad... It's so strange, actually. Somebody's pile of stuff. A little mouse, just thousands of bits of tuners and old bridge plates, blocks. Not a bad one. That will come in handy one day somewhere. Yeah, we just have tons of bits. I mean, this could keep me volume things. This keep me busy sorting things out from now until cows come home. Look, he's got this. Oh, look, a little pile of surrounds that he's cut himself, and mini humbucker, stuff like that. Oh, keep it. You never know. And we got in here tailpiece from a. What is that? Is that a part of a bridge? Here we've got a rosewood bridge piece, which would go well for an arch top. Some old switches, lots of cheap tuners, an old Tune-o-matic bridge, probably the vintage narrow styly ones. Lots of posts. Whoa. A little thing, a little circuit of some kind. Don't know what it does. It looks like a power input. A few of these, a few little firewire card, bone bridge for something or other, and just loads of stuff. An aluminium bridge. Look at that. Aluminium all the way through. Weird and wonderful. Parts, pots, ancient pots. Ones. Ooh, position. Switchy switch. Yeah, loads of regular pots as well. Bits of tuners, broken bits of tuners. Replacement tuners. Look at that. That will come in handy one day. Just a single pedal style tuner. PC stuff. I'm getting filthy doing this, but I mean, I think there's a load. I'm just going to have to throw a load of this away, but a pot that's not has been used. Here, look, there you go. What does a pot look like on the inside? It looks like a variable resistor that goes around. Not quite as badly broken as that, but yeah, the innards of a pot. 500k pot. A lump of something part of a bridge of some sort. Obviously the majority of this is going to go in the bin, but I will keep hold of bits like the poles from, and there's no magnet, they're just metal for the poles, so the magnet goes along the bottom and the windings go around it all. Another little bridge piece, a little floating on a tail end bridge piece, very simple. Not quite sure how the strings are supposed to go in that way. Top loading, weird. Or bottom loading, no. Who knows? A fan, more posts, tuners, rubbery power. What is that? What's that? Ooh, phone charger for the car. Bits of aluminium, scratch plates, homemade ones again. It's just all the weird and wonderful things. Little covers of something. So yeah, most of this will go away. A 2-point floating bridge tremolo piece. I say most of it will go in the bin, but I think for the wow, man, look at that. That is a vintage tuner if ever I saw one. Just for the unusualness of it, that's worth holding on to. And there are what appears to be 3 of them. There you go. We're going to make a 4-string guitar. 4-string guitar. You've got enough of these curious things. I bet they'd even shine up. Do you know what? They're quite nice. I really like those. Oh, blimey. Well, I'll be digging through that to see if there's anything else worth keeping. But that's what we've got. And there's a little blue thing down here, which inevitably contains a bunch of tremolo arms. including a, sorry you can't see, a bunch of tremolo arms, and possibly another good find actually. How many knobs do you want? Whoa. And how many unusual knobs do you want? What a cornucopia, or whatever they say. Loads of regular stuff, but some unusual, weird and wonderful things in amongst it all. Like radio knobs, little metal one. Even got, see, look, seems still got the grub screw in it. So fab. I mean, that has just increased my my knob supply by a very large amount. Wow, variety, variation. Phew. There you go. What a nice little find. There's pairs of everything as well, somewhere in there. That's knackered. But yeah, what a wonderful thing. So it was £50 for all of that, which isn't that valuable, plus this square affinity which plays and will be set up and cleaned up, but it all looks pretty good. And this beastie, which I'm dying to hear with its millions of extra switches, and then these kind of monsters over here, and then a couple of necks which I've got potential really good use for. I have no idea whether this is usable, savable or whatever. It weighs virtually nothing, so you're going to be neck heavy whatever you do. But then you've got this thing which has a vintage neck, glued in neck, and a sort of travel guitar. He's pretty much kind of got most of the way there. The only downside of that, of course, is that with this NSG you're starting with a neck a hell of a long way out of the body, so even the travel guitar, even if you cut this down, you still got quite a length of guitar to be taking with you on your travels. And then this Jagmaster Squire neck in very nice condition, a sort of marbly, no, flamey sort of effect, but that is a nice finished thing. So there's plenty of opportunities to use that. So there you go, Graham, R.I.P. I'm quite pleased to be able to make some of this stuff live on and reuse it and repurpose it. So you know, and it kind of puts into perspective that we're all the same. You know, few people are going to leave that much impression on the world when they go. Hopefully a positive one, if anything. But you know, we're all just passing by for a little bit, and you know, I'd be sort of vaguely happy to think that somebody in the future was enjoying something I'd done long after I'm gone, and that's a kind of nice thought, really. Not that it'll make any difference when you're gone, but it's better than having done crap stuff like killing people and chopping people's heads off. I think you'll agree. Making something is always better. And who knows, this old thing here might just become the neck that completes that old girl there and uses up some of the fantastic old humbuckers that we've got knocking about here in reserve. Okay, that's enough for now. Hope you enjoyed that little delve through here. Obviously this is going to give me a severe case of OCD, and this little container up here is nowhere near going to be enough to sort out all these parts. So I'm going to have to, I will reuse some of these containers, and I'm going to be putting that into further use as well. So a big sorting out job for me. So a couple of cups of coffee and put the radio on, and I'll be in bloody heaven. Oh, and this one has nothing to do with Graham and his collection. This is just one I found in our attic from one of my stepchildren's project from long ago, and it's an old, believe it or not, an old Kimbara neck, which is a pretty well sought after make of Japanese guitars. Obviously this was a Strat copy, and it's got that that hard shell-like lacquer finish to it, so that's going to have to be sanded off to get down to the wood. I've taken the neck down to the wood. This is, as you can probably guess, is lining up to be the next Oakcaster headstock. I'm just sizing it up there, but it will need sanding down. I mean, no, it doesn't need sanding. I could spray directly on top of that actually. but it probably needs keying up. Apart from a little bit of a split, which has been glued by the looks of it, it's in pretty good shape. And it could be, it's going to get obviously a maple, lacquer, clear lacquer down here and a refret. So looking forward to doing that. If so, it'll be the first of my oak casters that I've actually started out with new frets on it. Most of them are second-hand necks, or reasonably old necks. Now this doesn't, I've run out of guitar hangers. You can see the situation here is we're suffering from multiple hanging occupancy. So I'm going to have to put one short one left, and that's the lot. And almost no places to hang anything. There you go, I can stay there for the time being. So, yeah, a bit on the smoky side, but everything's going to get cleaned bit by bit, and I'm going to have a big bag of throwaway stuff. So I'm going to go offline and start that process now. I'm going to hang the bag right here and get throwing. Although I'm going to be careful what I throw away. I don't want to chuck too much. I'll chuck the stuff that I obviously can't use and then keep the rest. So I'll see you again on another project. Well, so here we are, having a look at the first of the two guitars. I'm going to see just what's what. I don't know where to start. I want to give it a good clean, but let's just start by getting rid of these whiskers, which we don't need to have on here, but we don't need to have them on here for long, full stop. I left my bleeding rubbish bag outside. Anyway, so here we have the Squire Affinity Strat with fairly good neck, decent tuners, nothing unusual, no cracks at all. Cracks at all in the neck pockets, which is pretty rare. A couple of dings down here in the dark blue. We've got he's done his thing. He's replaced the pickups and done something, I don't know what, but let's tune it if we can. Probably break a string here. So we got one volume, one tone. Sort of, well, I think we've got the settings you'd expect, but I wouldn't guarantee it with this with Graham's guitars. I have to say, could be anything. Okay, that's standard. That's good. Crackly. So we have it. Okay, non-standard. Simplified it. I don't even mind leaving it the same. Actually, why not? I'm going to find out what these Super 500s are. Just never seen them before, but you never know. Might keep them on. Might not, depending on what's going on. The action is pretty high, so I would take that down. And all told, this would be a fine little guitar. So I just want to clean it really, more than anything. But yeah, not too much. It won't take too much to make that really good. as good as a Squier Affinity Strat can be, but we do have loads of spare pickups to put on it should I want to improve it a bit more. Now this one is interesting. It's a heavy old thing, and I won't really know until I've taken this one to pieces just what in the hell it is, or first of all whether any of it works. Well. One volume, one tone, neck. I bet this is a Brian May. Oh no, that's not supposed to happen. 3 position. Oh, hellfire. 3 position, 2 position, 2 position. Oh lordy. Let's find out. Right, nothing. Middle. That is the front as well, isn't it? Is it? I don't know. Front. Top 2. Nothing. Nothing in the middle. Upwards. Middle. Downwards. Middle and front. Middle, front. Sorry, middle and neck. Middle, bridge only. Why? Bridge, 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 bridge. Oh wow, this guy's a genius. I don't know what's going on here. I really don't. Oh, sorry, I've got a piece of a plate swinging around on the back here, getting in the way. So. Just then, I don't know what's going on now, I'm confused. Okay, well, we have one here with this in the middle. Right, this one switches on, this one down here switches on the back. Off, they're all off. Back on. Blimey. Okay. So. Wow, what a great little thing. So we have humbucker, single coil, all 3. No, middle and humbucker or single coil. Middle and single coil. No, bloody hell. Let's go back to them, right. Right, humbucker. No, nothing. Oh god. This isn't stable, is it? It's changing its mind every second, I think. Seems to be working. I can't, right, okay. Right, the middle button is single or double, it's a coil tap, right? So that's on, single, double, off, on, single, double. So off and single, and this switches on neck and middle, neck and middle. On, neck and middle, neck, middle plus single coil. No, what? Middle, neck, middle. Okay, oh my god. Down, neck and middle. Neck, middle, and single coil. That should be 3. That. It's not on. Oh, lordy. That's on. Okay. Oh. Got to remember this. Right, so this is all 3 pickups on. Neck, middle, and coil on, up, single. On, neck, middle, humbucker on, single coil. That's all 3 single coils. Blimey. Humbucker. So that's all the coils together. Yes. Blimey. Well, you know what? That is fun and different. I don't care what anyone says. And he's gone to the trouble of, you know, carving it all up and putting it back together in his own image. And I just think I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to clean it up, tidy it up in every which way I can. But this is going to play the way he set it up, because I think that's a pretty nifty little innovation. It's just unique. Nobody else, well, unique, it's independent, individual. Nobody else will have one of these. I may need to check on the condition of the wiring and everything under there, but by and large, if you just figure out what's going on, you'll enjoy this. It's a hardtail. Let's tune it. So I think I'll have a single coil. That is bridge only. Bridge only humbucker. No. That's it. That's off. Bridge only humbucker. Bridge on humbucker. Added. No, middle added. Oh yeah, neck and middle added. All 3 on. All down. Is all 3 on. That's middle 3 positions. That's off. So I can turn this off. It should be neck only. No, middle only. Oh god. Neck and middle. So I don't think you can ever get neck only in this guitar. Yeah, you get neck and middle. That's 3 single coils, that's all coils. Well, you know what? I'm not going to be a critic of that. I think that's pretty amazing for an old chap who's no longer with us. And we can clean that up and make a really nice guitar for somebody, and I have somebody in mind for this very one. It's got a quality neck. Oh, sorry, you can't see very well. Sorry. Quality neck with a skunk stripe on it. Nice condition. Frets, again, you know, could use a bit of a clean up and level, obviously, the usual stuff. Yeah, this, and it's a rock solid piece of stuff. It's got his own scratch plates on, bless him. This unusual bridge. I'll probably take quite some time to figure out what it came off. I think we're looking at a plywood guitar here. It's got some cracks into the ply down in the neck pockets, but it's not going to affect anything. It's, you know, big solid homemade cover on the back as well. Yeah, no reason why. Bit of a clean up, make sure the wiring is good underneath. No reason why that isn't actually quite a nice first guitar for somebody, and I have somebody in mind for it. So there we go. Well, nice little run through those two, and they all play, which I sort of expected them to, because what I have learned so far about Graham, since I've got most of his old guitars by the looks of it, is that everything I've had so far plays. Now here's the fun part. I've got two more to test. Let's go with the vintage travel guitar monstrosity. This is a funny fucking thing. Ah, stabbed by ancient strings. That's not what you want. Oh. So deep and painful, it's not even bleeding. Damn it. Okay, we don't even know where the output is. Oh blimey, what a thing. Well, what's the betting that it plays, eh? I'll bet you it does. He's a nutter, this man. Blood. Expect this to break. Somebody would have some fun with that. Somebody's going to have some fun with that. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might just carve even more off it, but maybe I'll just leave it in honour of the man that made it. Now we're down to the final one of the set, and this is the weird Encore. I don't know what it really is. Oh, it's an Encore. Encore meets. Was it? Yeah, maybe it's a bog standard little Encore. I've seen them a bit. I've seen something like this. I don't know if it's the same neck it had on it, but anyway, it's he's definitely added some spice of his own to it, and we'll find out. Yeah, looking good string wise. I don't expect those to tune up successfully. So let's get a note first and see if we can get there. Okay, he's got these going backwards. Sorry about this buzz a minute, I just made it pretty. here we have it. Ooh. Oh, stupid me. I know why it's not going to play. Right. Sorry about that. But it will play. So we've got a hard-tailed little encore with some sort of neck that whether it belongs with it or doesn't belong with it, I would be hard pushed to tell you. It's kind of looks quite cool. Little pointed end. He's piled on some lacquer, and for some reason he's put loads of silver on the end, and I still don't quite know why he's gone to the trouble of making this little plastic plate. I don't really quite know what it's covering up. Maybe it's fixing a bad hole or something. There are a few filled holes on the back of here, and there's loads of holes. It looks like woodworm's had it, but it hasn't. So it's been all over the place, but it feels quite nice. Oh, the action's all over the shop as well. I don't know why, but it's pretty unplayable. But there are two halves of two different rails going on in here. I don't know how well you can see that, but anyway, this is a bit late, further down the line, but mad genius, evil man, and he's got his own little custom cut pickguard here, and one single knob of that style, and well, I've got plenty to choose from if I want to do something with it. So anyway, that's the last of the Graham guitars on show, and all of them need stripping and cleaning and putting back together again with a decent setup. But the two nearest the camera are the ones I'm going to obviously do first, and I have a feeling that this one's going to be fantastic. That's going to be pretty good, as a basic Squire Affinity is, but I think this big heavy weird one is going to be the surprise in the bunch. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so thanks for hanging around in the shed while I've been playing spare parts and weird stuff. I can imagine all of those parts, still more to explore down there, the used pickups, but all of that and all those amazing weird guitars, 50 quid. Oh, just one more I'll show you. I mean, you've seen it already, but as to what this can be, if anything, who knows. Solid, but incredibly light, horribly light, but it could be something possible. Been hacked away. We could make something out of it. I've got a spare Telecaster neck up there. Could be go back on there and make some sort of really bashed up basic Telecaster guitar. Wow. I don't think it'll have this old Echo 12 string neck. I don't think it's an Echo actually, but it's very similar. Same era, but you can see it's got the aluminium 12 string thing, but it won't be this guitar. Oh, and it's got a, as you can see, the truss rod's been hacksawed through to make it fit. Don't quite know how that would work, or whether that would work at all. Maybe that's one of them where he just got out of his depth or something. But anyway, it's a kind of an interesting old vintage thing, which who knows what it'd be like. We'll see. All right, so the madness of the late Graham somebody or other, and I'm somewhere on my phone. The lady actually sent me a picture, so just for your interest, I'll show you what he looks like, if I can. And there he was, the late Graham guitar man from Tavistock. Don't know his surname, but I'm pleased to be keeping his guitars alive. Certainly 3 or 4 of these will be out there playing in the world, so good on you, Graham. Thanks for all the bits. Okay, weirdness. See you later.